If you feel lost without your cell phone or your GPS, then this video is for you. Today we're going to be talking about how to navigate with a map and a compass. Now, there's a lot of reasons to learn how to navigate with a map and a compass. You know, it's a great backup for in the event that your cell phone or your GPS battery dies. But it's also just a really great woodsmanship type skill to have, and it's a lot of fun. There's only a few items you're going to need. You're going to need a map of the area you're hunting, a compass with some of the features we'll discuss in a second, and a pen or something to write on the map with. Let's get familiar with the features of our compass. At the top of the compass, you'll see an arrow. That's called the direction of travel arrow. You're going to point it in the direction you want to travel. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, that circle is a bezel, and you'll see degree markings on there. And that bezel is going to rotate. You'll be able to spin that around, and that's going to be important. You'll see why in a minute. Inside of the bezel, you see parallel lines and an arrow. Those are your orienting lines and your orienting arrow. And again, you're going to learn exactly what those do in a second here. And of course, you have your magnetic needle, which points to magnetic north. On the side of the compass, you're going to see rulers, which you're going to use in conjunction with your map scale to determine how far something is. If you look above the bezel and below the direction of travel arrow, you're going to see a fine line. That's your bearing index. Whatever number lines up with your bearing index is your bearing, and finding a bearing is what we're going to really focus on today. It's a very fundamental skill that you need to know to navigate between point A and point B. Basically, all we're doing is we're determining what direction we need to travel in. To start, lay your map out on a flat surface and put your compass on top of the map. Make a marking of where you're going to start and then where you want to end up. So in this example, putting a dot on a trailhead and another dot down by a stream. Now we're going to connect the lines using the straight edge on our compass. Now I'm just putting arrows on that line so you know the direction we want to travel in. And of course, we want to be pointing the direction of travel arrow in the direction we want to travel. Now line up the straight edge of your compass with the line we just drew, and you're going to rotate the bezel until those orienting lines are matched up with the grid lines that run north and south on your map. And you want to make sure that the north side of your orienting arrow is pointing toward the top of the map, which is north. Otherwise, you'll be 180 degrees off of your bearing. An important thing to mention at this point is that your map is orientated towards true north, where your compass is going to point you toward magnetic north. And there's a difference between the two, and the variation is going to depend on where you live. And you can look up your declination, and usually you can see what the declination is on your map. There should be a marking somewhere on the map that tells you. And my area is 9 degrees west. So what that means is, once I have that bearing that we just captured, I need to take into account that declination, or I'm going to be a good bit off of where I want it to be. So what I'll do is, now that I have the orienting arrows running parallel to the orienting lines on the map, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rotate the bezel 9 degrees west, and that's my true bearing. Now I know what direction I need to travel in. To walk in that direction, what you need to do is hold the compass flat in your hand, and you're going to turn your body until the red side of that magnetic needle lines up with the orienting arrow. It's going to go right inside the orienting arrow, and the red side is going to be pointing north. And then where that direction of travel arrow is pointed now, that's the direction you're going to travel. It's as simple as that. Now you have a straight path toward your destination. Now, instead of looking at your compass the whole time, what you can do is you can just look ahead and find a landmark in the distance that is in line where you're traveling to and walk toward that. Reconfirm your bearing from there, find another landmark and walk toward that. And that way you're just not staring down at your compass the whole time. Another way to take into account the declination is you can buy a compass that has adjustable declination, which means you just set the declination before you go out and then you don't have to worry about it again. I do want to show you guys the difference that the declination can make. I'm going to show you if I didn't take into account the declination on this fairly short trip, just how far off I would be.